Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Sid.
And I am Macky.
And today we are unboxing the new Shimano XTR.
About
So
this.
there's a kit.
Yes, this is Jack. He wants to be in the video.
He's gonna be in the video.
He's going to be in the video. We're really excited about the new XTR. We've heard a lot of really good things about it. We haven't ridden it yet, obviously, which is why it is here in the boxes. But we are Shimano athletes, and we recently received our stuff and just wanted to kind of bring you guys along with opening it up, checking it out, first impressions, and then talking a little bit about some of the things that are different from the previous XTR and some of the stuff that we're especially excited about. So we're going to open it all up, look at it with you guys, and then we're going to put it on my Jameis portal, which you can see right here. Yeah. So let's
So disclaimers, this is not a review.
Not
we
a
didn't
review.
pay for this equipment.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
What's new about the new Shimano 12-speed is that it's 12-speed and not 11. It also has a 10 to 51 tooth range, which is a massive range.
Lots of gears.
Lots of gears, 12
I think
of them.
it's really nice looking. This is actually the first time I have looked at it at all. I think
I've seen pictures, but now you get to see it in person.
aesthetically, I like that it does seem like even jumps all the way up, and I like the black. The black is nice.
Yeah.
I also think their packaging is, not that this is at all matters at all, but the packaging this year is pretty boss.
Cool. Yeah.
It's pretty boss.
Along with the 10 to 51 cassette, 12-speed cassette, there is a 10 to 45 12-speed cassette, which we do not have. It gives you a more even jump or a smaller gap between gears, but we wanted the big one for climbing.
I wanted it.
And then we also got the
easy gears.
10 through 45 11-speed. And so this is confusing because this is the Shimano 12-speed, and this is still the 12-speed spacing. So it takes the 12-speed crank, the 12-speed chain, all of that. It's just 11 of them. And there's a little switch on the shifter that you switch to go from 11 to 12 speed. But what's cool about it is it's exactly the same as the 10 to 51. It just doesn't have the 51 tooth ring. So it's a little bit lighter. You don't have quite as much of a range, but that's probably what I'm going to ride on this bike because our next race is Moab Rocks in Moab, and it's a 3-day cross-country stage race. So any little bit of weight that I can save, I want to save.
So Macky's going to do the 11 speed.
Yep.
That's actually 12 speed, or whatever.
Yeah.
The lighter 11 speed cassette because he has legs like tree trunks. I'm going to do this one because I really like the idea of this 51 tooth.
And what's cool is when you look at them,
pretty excited about this. Am I lazy?
is they are literally exactly the same cassettes.
Yeah.
Except this one doesn't have that big tooth. You don't need a spacer or anything on the cassette. It fits on exactly the same hub. So it's exactly the same, it just doesn't have that.
And this is still
ring.
a 45, which previously would have 46. So that's not like a huge difference.
No, it's almost the same just size-wise. So,
okay.
All right,
so those
we'll
are the
put
cassettes.
those aside.
Nothing too crazy to say about the derailleur. It's a derailleur.
Looks like a derailleur,
Yeah,
works like a derailleur.
Let's see what it looks like. It's a nice looking derailleur.
Then we have the 12-speed crank. This is the SC-MT 900. So this is sort of the, what did they call it? The non-series 12-speed crank. This actually is very similar to the previous one. The XTR series one will have a different way of attaching, but this is very much like the previous XTR. The only difference is to remove the chainring, you use a lock ring tool that drops down on there and you unscrew it and then pull it off, as opposed to doing like the 4 bolts like the old Shimano stuff did. I
think brakes that's the thing that we're the most excited about.
I'm very excited about these brakes.
So we, for the past 3 years, have been running Shimano Saint brakes on our bikes, because the Saint were the 4-piston downhill brakes, and we did not find that the XTR brakes were sufficient for enduro racing.
Yeah.
Enter the
4-piston XTR brakes, and we have heard ridiculously good things.
People say they're better than the Saints. So
yeah, well, and we've talked to like the product manager who worked on these brakes, and he was like, these brakes are so good. Apparently they're not quite as grabby as the Saints are. They have a little bit more like, you know, like ramp up instead of just like lock on. They cool really well.
Not much to see necessarily.
Yeah, they're brakes.
Yeah, they are brakes.
Well, one thing that's really cool is this part, like the clamp where it clamps to the bar has moved back. And this part rests on your bar. And so that you actually have 2 contact points now, which makes the brake stiffer.
Also made some changes to the rotors. Am I correct that these are a little different?
Once again, we haven't ridden these yet, so we can't speak to it. But apparently the new 180 and 203 mil rotors, which are really cool looking.
They are really cool. They look very sci-fi.
They do look very sci-fi. Apparently that's the back.
Okay.
Apparently they decrease the temperature of the rotor by 20 degrees Celsius. That's what they claim. That's 40 degrees Fahrenheit. That is wild.
I know some of you guys left comments on our Andy Specifico videos. Our brakes were making a lot of noise. That was just sort of the reality of doing 10,000 feet of descending that was very steep. So we were on the brakes a lot, and because these stages were long, they heated up the rotors, which burned out the rotors. And that, you know, that's happened with every rotor we've ever had.
Yeah, it happens.
However, I imagine a 20 degree Celsius difference would have
gonna make a big
either
difference.
made that not happen or happen a lot later. So that's pretty cool.
The other thing we should mention, drivetrain related, is that the chain, I don't understand the science behind it, I admit. But
we are not engineers.
Not engineers.
This is not a review.
But my understanding is that the way the chain shifts is when you're shifting easier, it's sort of like it was previously, where as it's leaving this one, it like catches on the next one, and you know, that's normal. But what's cool is as it's shifting into harder gears, previously, if you like watch a chain shifting down a cassette, you like shift and it like goes up on the ridge and then like falls down onto the next chain ring. This one, it shifts over and catches the next chain ring before it fully leaves the previous one. And so it makes for a much smoother, faster, better shift going to harder gears. We're excited to try that out and like see if you feel the difference. And apparently the shifting under load is really good also, and it has to do with the shape of the chain combined with the shape of this cassette.
The one thing we haven't talked about is the new XTR hub. The reason we haven't talked about that is we don't actually have them right now. As you guys know, we are sponsored by Vittoria, so we are running Vittoria Demian wheels.
Vittoria has not gotten the microspline design from Shimano yet. Shimano has only licensed that to 2 companies, I believe. I think it's DT Swiss and Industry 9, I think. Because Vittoria doesn't have that microspline design yet, we are running Shimano hubs laced onto Vittoria hoops. This cassette uses a different hub, and it's called microspline. There are a lot more sort of slats that you get on the hub, and that allows for like a really good, strong engagement, and also allows you to run a 10-tooth little ring. So the hardest gear gets a little bit harder, 10 instead of 11, and the easier gear gets a lot easier, 51 instead of 46. So we have a friend of ours, shout out to Clay, who's building our wheels for us because he's a good wheel builder and we have never built wheels, and that would not be a good idea. So
you will see those at the end of the video when we go to Boulder to pick up our wheels. Yep. So right now we're showing you what we got, and we're going to put together as much of the bike as we can until we get those wheels. All right, should we put your bike together? This is pretty exciting.
Let's do it. We got our wheels, very exciting. The microspline, as you can see, there are a lot more slats, or splines, I guess. There's still a thicker one, which tells you how the cassette gets lined up and makes sure that all of the layers of the cassette are lined up correctly. The other thing that's interesting is you can see the threads are down here. You can see the cassette here. This is the lower piece, and this is from 18 tooth to 45 because I'm doing the 11 speed set. So that one.
So that's all one piece?
This is all one piece.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Isn't that awesome?
Usually I dump all the pieces everywhere when I try to put the cassette on.
Yeah,
That's
so we
really
can
smart.
put
Okay.
that one on. It just uses the same traditional lock ring tool. Feels good. So up to this point, installing XTR has been extremely easy and straightforward. It's exactly like 11 speed, except the cassette was a little bit different, but same tool and everything, so very easy. But one thing that is different is how you measure the chain length. Normally, you would compress the bike into its longest chain length position, which on these bikes happens to be when it's fully compressed. And you would like measure and then you'd add 2 links. Well, on these ones, you measure it and you add 4 links.
Thanks for watching, everyone. If you like this video, give us a subscribe and check back at the end of the week for another video all about our 2019 bikes.